Afternoon, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earthwatch. I have no idea what day it is because I'm not at my computer. So I said that every once in a while I would be veering off course and show you some tips on growing your own food. So I'm just going to show you a couple of my areas. This is a raised bed on the edge of my property. There's a slope on the other side. So I made a 63-foot long, what I call the tunnel, enclosed in polycarbonate panels. So let's take a look inside. So simply the fence on the edge of the property. And I did this in sections at a time. So 63 feet long, and the idea of keeping it small is that it does not take a whole lot of passive solar energy, passive meaning the sun coming through to heat up this area, and in fact prevent the soil from freezing. This soil is still very warm and never freezes. Forgot an onion. So some good use at the edge of my property. And this, of course, will give you at least an extra 3 months of growing time in the year. So I'm going to skip this little greenhouse. Nothing in it. Now this one I just completed before the winter. It's on the side of my property on a slope, so I thought I'd make use of some wasted real estate. Now, growing in the winter time, you're not going to get much sun. In fact, in the past 3 months, I think I have 3 days of sun, and that was it. So, you know, if it's not directly south facing, you're still going to be relying on your lighting. Now, behind this blue siding, as with all my greenhouses and raised beds, I have 3 inches of rigid foam board insulation that keeps the soil in the box inside nice and warm. It doesn't even get cool. You hear me speak of polycarbonate panels. That's this material here, which I simply just pop off in the spring and the summertime to give some air circulation coming into the greenhouse, which is very important. Now, normally in the back roof, north side of your greenhouse, you don't have any polycarbonate. However, because I do have a little bit of sun in the east sunrise and the west sunset, I included polycarbonate on the back. I get just that little bit much more sun coming through. And again, removable panels for air circulation. I'm on a cane, so please excuse my grunting and groaning. Now, unfortunately, with our minus 30 below temperatures, I lost about 3/4 of my crop, but some did survive. Now there's a variety of greens as well as root vegetables that are cold hardy and do not like the heat, that you can grow throughout the wintertime. Now, growing food in the wintertime is not about filling your gut. It's about growing nutrition and keeping your immune system boosted up. Now again, I had a lot more growing in here, but unfortunately a lot got killed off. It's a continuing learning experience, however, which one will survive the harshest of coldest of temperatures, like kale, which I can't stand. I'm just growing that for my wife. A beet in the back that survived, a couple more beets that survived, some carrots, perpetual spinach, which is the big leaf spinach, which keeps on growing. And some Bloomsdale spinach in the back. More perpetual spinach. And a few bok choy that survived. So despite my loss, it's still worth it. It's still only January, and once I get some more seedlings going, and I get them back in the dirt. Now, if you're looking at building a greenhouse, a lot of people will use rain gutters to increase your square footage. So 3 levels of rain gutters. You can grow a variety of shallow root vegetables, from bush beans to spinach, radish, even strawberries are very popular for growing in rain gutters. And this is why I designed this greenhouse a lot taller than normal. When it comes to your lighting, your green leaf vegetables only need lighting at 6500 K, which is your standard fluorescent shop lights. In Canadian dollars, about 20, well, probably more now, but they were $23 each. Take advantage of pots, some radish going here. This is the other side. Again, most of it got wiped out in the cold. A bunch of baby carrots. Some Swiss chard, which has the same nutrient value as spinach. Grow lots of Swiss chard. And some more bok choy that survived. Celery is another cold hardy vegetable. Unfortunately, celery takes the longest to reach maturity, 120 days. Take advantage of pots. Baby carrots. Now this, I'll eat all these in maybe a couple of days. Right? Just keep on growing them. If it gets too cold, they'll go into a period of stasis, but they will start regrowing once it gets warm enough again. And again, gutters everywhere. You can also use twisty CFL bulbs. And again, as long as they're 6400 K. I have these for probably going on to 10 years now, and they're still going. You got to use your imagination and how you set up. Spring and summertime, you need lots of air circulation. Again, I just quickly put these in. It's not finalized yet. So there is a lot that you can grow. And again, in the wintertime, it's not about filling your gut up. That's what your buckets of rice and buckets of beans are for. You want to get some nutrition in you. In egg dishes, omelets, smoothies, salad, or just walking into your greenhouse and picking a leaf and start chomping on it. So again, I had 3 times as much growing here, and all I need is a small space heater that I have set on low, which will kick on when it gets too cold. So they will survive cold temperature, but once it gets down to a certain point, it just takes 1 day of freezing. So here's a picture of some cold burn. One of my kale leaves. And even though it's very cold, you got to do your pest control. You got to watch out for your aphids. They love kale and they love spinach. That's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this very brief tour. I'll be doing more into the spring.